Good morning, Amy Dobson. This is Sean Strother. I was just trying to do a sound check to make sure that you can hear me and I can hear you.
Good morning. I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Erica Williams, I see that you're on here. Good morning. I just want to do a quick sound check to make sure you can hear me and I can hear you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Mhm. Ratisha, I can see you on here now. I just want to do a sound check, make sure you can hear me and I can hear you.
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Sounds good. Yes,
Okay, thank you.
ma'am. Good morning, Sarah. This is Sean Strother. I was just trying to make sure that you can hear me and I can hear you.
Good morning. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Hey, everybody. I'm here. I'm a minute late, I think. Sorry about that. This is Allison. Hey, Sean.
Good morning, Allison. I was just about to do a sound check, but it sounds like you're here and you can hear me. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Hey, Allison.
Hey, Pam.
I think we have everyone. Sarah.
Yes, we do. We have everyone.
Okay. So anytime you're ready, we can start the meeting.
Let me find my window where I had the agenda open. Here it is. Okay, so I will go ahead and call our meeting to order. Hope everybody was safe through the snow. And I'm going to read the public notice. So, public notice of this meeting was properly posted at the office of the South Carolina Board of Genetic Counselors, Synergy Business Park, Kingstree Building, 110 Centerview Drive in Columbia, South Carolina, on the board's website, and provided to any requesting persons, organizations, or news media in compliance with SC Code annotated Section 3480 of the South Carolina Freedom of Information Act. Members of the public who wish to view the meeting may do so by live stream. at https://lor.sc.gov/gen/videos.aspx. So the first item is just to approve the agenda. Was everyone able to view the agenda for today's meeting?
Yes.
Are there any
Move
Any
to
discussion about the agenda? Does anyone want to go ahead and motion to approve it?
Motion to approve?
Can we get a second?
second.
No?
Y'all,
Yeah.
to make the transcript a little clearer, when you do a motion or a second on this one, if you could say your name right before you do it, that would be very helpful for the court reporter.
And that motion was made by Sarah Pass, and the second was Amy Dobson. Okay. So number 3 on the agenda is approval or disapproval of absent members. And I think we already verified there are no absent members. Is that correct? I can't see everybody on the screen, but oh, there it is. I just had to move the down arrow. So I guess we can just skip or just say there's no absent members. And so item number 4 is approval of the last meeting minutes, which was on October 28th, 2025. So I'm going to give everyone time to review those minutes, and if you have any questions about how to access them, that was sent in the email from Pam.
Thank you. While everyone's reviewing that, I was trying to get host duties and reach out to them. So just 1 minute.
Are there any questions or discussion about last meeting's minutes? I'm gonna take that as a no. So if someone wants to state their name and make a motion to approve those minutes.
This is Amy. I motion that we approve the minutes of the last board meeting.
And a second.
Second.
I don't think we caught your name because I was cutting you off. Can you say your name again?
Kimberly Foyle.
Thanks. All right. Next item on the agenda. Oh, that is my chairperson remarks. So I'm going to go ahead and read the purpose of our board. So the purpose of the Board of Genetic Counselors is to protect the public through the regulation of professionals who educate and communicate with the public regarding the human problems associated with the occurrence or the risk of occurrence of a genetic disorder in a family, including the provision of services to help an individual or family. The board also investigates complaints and conducts application and disciplinary hearings in accordance with state statutes and regulations. And my only other remarks is that I'm glad we were able to move this to virtual. Thanks, Pam, for suggesting that. Not only for just the brevity of it, but our weather's been a little crazy. So, especially in the upstate, I think Columbia got some snow this time too. Yeah. And then even some stuff in Charleston too, right, Kim?
It's like 4 inches.
Wow. Yeah, we got like 4 to 5 in the upstate. How much did y'all get, Kimberly? Just a
Dusting.
little bit.
We could see the
Yeah.
graph through it, but more than we usually get.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So the next item on the agenda is the administrative reports. And so Pam, I will let you take over here.
Alrighty. Good morning, everyone. Good to see everybody. Glad to know everybody survived the blizzard. It was nice to see snow in Columbia. So glad to see everybody. Moving forward, the cash report, the cash balance for the board as of December 31st, 2025 was $179,824.57. Board has been new since the end of 2025, would have been the end of June 2020. And as you saw by the licensing reports, that number is just going to continue.
Just Pam, you're kind of breaking up a little bit. Is anyone else noticing that? Or is it just me?
I agree.
Hey, Pam, sorry to interrupt you, but it's difficult to understand you. I don't know if there's anything you can do about that, but it's very choppy.
Pam, if you turn your video off, that might help it
Okay.
be able to focus energy on the audio.
Okay, is that any better?
Keep talking. So far, it seems so.
Yes. But as I was saying, next year will be renewal time. So everybody will have to renew their licenses next year. So we definitely will see the cash amount go up next year. Okay. Am I still good? Everybody still sound good? Okay.
Yes, much better. Thank you.
Alrighty. Moving forward, just to let the board know that the next time we do meet in person, the mileage amount, the mileage rate has gone up. So it'll be 72.5 cents per mile. So the next time we meet in person, that's the reimbursement the board members will get for travel. The next item is just a reminder about the Statement of Economic Interest reports due by the end of March. Everyone should have already received an email from Sean showing the amount that you were paid by LOR that you'll need to claim when you're completing the Statement of Economic Interest forms. So hopefully, did everybody receive that email? So every month, Sean will check, and anyone that hadn't had a chance to file it, Sean will send out a friendly reminder to that individual. So we'll be checking on our end, but please be sure to file that by noon. The deadline is noon, March 30th, because if you don't meet that deadline, there are penalties for not meeting the deadline. So we don't want any of our board members have to be hit with any of those penalties. The next is the list of new licensees, in-state and out-of-state. This would have been licenses issued from October 3rd, 2025 to January 12th, 2026. We had a total of 24 genetic counselors, new licenses issued. We did not have any limited licenses issued during that time. And then the last item under my section is the number of active licensees. So as of January 12th, the board has 329 genetic counselors and 6 limited licenses for a grand total of 335. So that's all I had, Madam Chair. I'd be glad to answer any questions by the board members.
Do you happen to already have, of that total active licenses, how many are in state and how many are out of state? Just curious. If you don't, it's okay.
We do have it broke down. We could come up with it real quick because we do have it broke down by county. Like the first 3 pages. The first 4 pages are in-state licensees, and then from page 5 on is out of state. So I can say that the majority of the licensees are out of state licensees.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else have any questions about what Pam just told us?
Pam, I had a quick question. This is Amy about the folks who are achieving recertification status with ABGC and how that's going with them uploading their credentials and receiving a notice from LLR about their continuing licensure in the state.
All right. Yeah, we have been receiving those. They have been they've been able to upload them by document submission. What happens, I think it's about 2 months prior to the expiration of the certifications, they get a notice saying, hey, your certification will expire soon. And that's prompting a lot of people to upload their documents. Then they get another one, another notice about a month before if they haven't uploaded that yet. So fortunately, we haven't had, everybody's been supplying that information that's been needed. So we haven't had anybody who has let their certification lapse or expire.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any comments or questions?
Yes, Allison, I just quickly counted. It looks like, if I counted correctly, 90 of our genetic counselor licenses are for in-state. But literally I counted with my finger. So could be 89, could be 91, but around that number.
Okay, thank you. So remind me, do we need to approve what you just gave us? No. Okay, we can just move on. All right. So the next item is new business. And Pam, you were going to tell us about the military spouse licensure.
Yes, ma'am. We may have briefly talked about this like at the first board meeting, but wanted to revisit it again to give a more detailed explanation to the board. LOR, with military spouses, they get expedited service. So if you go to our website or to the board's website, you'll see that there should be a button that says military spouse licensure. And when someone clicks on that button, they have a form that they fill out. letting us know that they're interested in the military spouse licensure. That email is then, we've got a young lady in the agency that kind of monitors all those emails. And any that would come in for genetic counselors would be sent to me and Sean to reach out to that individual, letting them know that we have received their request and that we're replying back to them. As of now, we haven't had any for genetic counselors, but that's not to say that won't happen eventually. And what the purpose of the military spouse licensure is, you know, these folks are they're being relocated. And so they're having, you know, they want to continue working wherever they're moving with their spouse to. So, we want to get them licensed just as quickly as possible. So there is a section about military spouse licensure under the Engine Act that all of the boards follow. But right now, when somebody reaches out to us, they would have the option. They could request a temporary license, or we would tell them what they would need to do to get the full licensure. Now, the thing about a temporary license is that it's only good for 1 year. And most folks, when they're getting relocated because of the military, usually their orders are for a longer period of time than 1 year. So Sean would reach out to those individuals, let them know what the licensure requirement is for genetic counselors. And then Sean would actually be the point of contact for that person throughout the whole process. And Sean would follow that process through to the very end to make sure that individual got the license that they needed. In addition to the application, of course, they would have to supply a copy of the orders, you know, as proof, and then a copy of the marriage certificate that they are a military spouse. So that's what we use to verify that. To verify when we get those notifications. But that's just wanted the board, I'd been asked to explain to the board, let them know that we do have military licensure and what it involves. And we're, you know, with genetic counselors, overall licensure process is pretty quick. It's a pretty quick process. So I would think most folks would want the full licensure. But once again, we do have that option. They could get a temporary license, which would only be good for 1 year, or they could go for the full licensure if they're going to be here for an extended amount of time. Brandy, did I miss anything? Sean, did I miss anything?
I just want to reiterate that the temporary license is only good from 1 day of issue, and it cannot be renewed. And in addition to do it under the temporary license, in addition to showing the orders and the marriage license and whatnot, they do still have to meet the qualifications just in general to be licensed. So they have to be licensed in another state, be in good standing, that sort of thing. So it's not like somebody like me who has no experience in genetic counseling could just come in and get licensed under the temporary military licensure. And I just wanted to make sure that part was clear as well.
Yeah. And I think that our temporary license is mostly for newly graduated who haven't been able to sit for the board, or whereas if someone's moving into our state and they're a genetic counselor, then they should already qualify for a full license. They should be within good standing with their certification and all that. So hopefully that's what they would go for. Thanks, Pam.
All righty, thank you. Moving on, upcoming travel meetings. Allison and I got together, and I think we come up with 6 meetings that the board would be interested in sending, or might be interested in sending representation to. What this entails is the board voting on whether or not they do want to send representation to these meetings. If so, if we could find out specifically who those individuals are now, that'd be great. If not, we can find out at a later time as we get closer to those meetings. But the board can also vote for the time being to say, hey, we'd like to send 2 board members and a staff member and advice council. Now we will have to keep in mind what we have in the budget too. So I think, what we got in the budget now would be enough to send folks to these meetings. But even if we didn't, that still wouldn't be a reason. If the board felt like somebody really needs to go, then we do everything possible to send people to those meetings. So the first one is right around the corner, the 2026 U.S. Food and Drug Administration and National Institutes of Health Rare Disease Day. Is a virtual meeting on February 27th, 2026. Last year, this was a meeting, I think the board voted at that time that there was no reason to send a board member to, but we've added it back on there in case, something has changed.
Yeah, and I wasn't aware strongly that we needed to, but I didn't want to assume for my other board members. So speak up if that was something that you are interested in or think we should send someone to, but my current vote is that we probably don't need to.
I agree that we don't need to. There is the South Carolina Rare Disease Day meeting on the same day in Columbia, South Carolina, with a virtual option that I think, if anything, for Rare Disease Day might be more relevant, or we could stick to the bigger, more closely genetic counseling related meetings further down the list. I'll be attending virtually that
The rare disease,
27th, regardless of whether it's board related.
Yeah, I'm afraid we wouldn't. Brandy, you have to help me out. Would the board be able to vote on that meeting?
Because the board doesn't have another meeting before it would occur in February. As I understood it, that the South Carolina one is in February on the same date. They could go ahead and essentially amend the agenda to add that one in place, because there isn't another meeting where they could do such a vote in the future before it happens.
Okay, Allison, would you like to do that then? Amend the agenda to add that meeting?
yeah, we can do that. And we can, and I don't know if we want to amend it to just replace that first one instead of having the national one, and just replace it with the rare disease stuff for South Carolina specifically.
Someone would have to make a motion as to however, and then it would have to be seconded and then voted on by the full board.
This is Amy. If Kim says she outside of her board duties, do we even need to add this anywhere?
I mean, it would allow us, I think, to use board funds if Kim wanted to.
It's free.
Okay, well, there you go.
I think it's just a matter of if we need official board presence. It sounds like we don't, so maybe let's just not amend the minutes and forgo the NIH conference.
Okay, so we can leave the agenda as is, and I guess, do we need to take an official vote on that first one right now, or can we just say that the consensus is that we do not need to send anyone to that first one.
Yeah, if there's no interest in sending anybody to the first one, you do not have to do a vote. A vote is
Okay.
only required to approve travel.
Got it. So the second one is the ACMG meeting. Don't have it in my plans to attend that. Does anyone else want to or already planning to attend that one?
This is Amy. I'm planning to attend, but I have alternate funding for that meeting. That's our.
Do we want to send one of the other, like Pam or Brandy? You guys want to go to that one? You might want to go to Maryland.
I actually have another board meeting during that time, so I would not be able to go.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to be on vacation that week, so I wouldn't be available either.
Okay. Anybody else that hadn't spoke up yet? So we can just move on. I don't think we need to officially approve anyone for that one then. So the next one is the Surge, which is in Asheville. And I think I would plan to go to that one because it's within driving, which is what I prefer. Is anybody else wanting or planning to go to that one?
Allison, if I can ask a question,
Yeah.
what conferences would the board recommend for myself?
Right. I mean, my opinion, like as far as learning the most about genetic counseling is the NSGC, the last one that's on the list in November, as far as specific to, what we do as a profession.
Okay.
So for Surge,
Maybe let's go ahead and approve another for 2 people for Surge. It's close, it's regional. I might go, but I just don't know. But we can always send fewer than we approve, right? Just not more.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
I'm sorry, Kim, can you say that again? I'm sorry.
If we were to approve 2 people to go to the Surge, the Southeastern Regional meeting in July, and it turned out only one was able to go in the end, would that be okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I think that's an important regional meeting. If I'm able with childcare and whatnot to get up there, I would plan to do that one.
do we want to approve one like administrative member too?
Sure.
Okay. So can someone make a motion to do 2 board members and 1 administrative person, staff person?
Yeah, this is Kim. I'll move to approve 2 board members and 1 administrative member for travel and registration at the Surge meeting in July.
Can someone second?
This is Sarah. I second.
Okay. So the next one on there is the well, and I didn't think about this.
Allison, they have to vote.
Oh, we have to vote. So how do we do that virtually?
So normally I
It's like
just
that one.
ask people to respond with their eyes and I listen for each person. If that makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay. So if everyone agrees with that motion and second for Surge, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, Amy.
Aye.
Are there any nays? Okay. Are we good now, Brandy?
I'm sorry, did Sarah, did you,
I did.
okay, thank you.
And yes, we're good.
Okay. So the next one on the list is actually another probably good one as far as the staff to learn about genetic counselors. It's our own state society's genetic counseling meeting, which I think some of y'all attended in October. I wasn't able to attend it, but I think that's a good one. We don't have a location for that one yet. We're just starting to plan that meeting. I am on the planning committee for that meeting. We're hoping it's going to be in the upstate, but we don't have a specific location. So I would think we should approve at least some of us. I'm planning on doing it. I think from a official capacity, I don't think we have to all be officially approved and anyone can still come. But I think a staff member would learn from that.
Hey, Allison, this is Ratisha. I was wondering for investigators, do you
Yeah.
think that would be a good one for us or the last one?
I think either of them would be good. There's going to be more at that last one because it's a longer conference. But it's, further away. So if it's more convenient to do, a more local one, both are going to be very specific to just genetic counseling.
Okay. I was thinking that maybe myself or maybe one of my investigators could go because we really don't know much about it right now. So that's why I was asking which one you think would be better for us to attend.
What do my other board members think about? I mean, I definitely think you should go, but are there other comments about which one would be better?
I think to start, South Carolina might be like a more reasonable amount of information to take in, and then if they want to learn more, maybe next year do NSGC.
I agree with that too. I feel like NSGC is kind of overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good call.
Yeah, so if you could approve, if we could be approved to go to that one, either myself or one of my investigators, I would probably say myself first so that I can kind of teach them and understand it myself. So
do we want to go ahead and approve any specific board members? Like, or just say approve 2 and then an investigator, or what's the suggestion there? Anybody else thoughts on that? Are there any other board members that are definitely going? I mean, I know Sarah, you're like on the board of the society, so.
I will be at the meeting regardless. But for like our approval, do we need to be specific of like investigators, or should we just approve like 3 or 4 staff members to come to SCGCS? Would that be easier?
You can just approve 3 or 4 staff members, and we can know internally that that's one that we're looking at for investigators. And then if they're, for example, if Pam and I had planned on going and something happens and we can't go, we can always say, hey, investigators, do you want to send more than one person? And so that gives us some flexibility internally. I will say, for those of you who were not able to attend this last year, I attended virtually, and it was very helpful to me to get a better picture of what our professionals are doing in this area.
Well, maybe let's go ahead and make a motion to just approve 2 board members and 3 staff. If someone wants to do that.
Yep, this is Sarah. I make a motion to approve 2 board members and 3 staff members to attend SCGCS.
Is there a second?
Cannonball second.
Everyone in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Is there any nays? Okay. So the next one is ASHAG in Canada. Anybody interested in that one?
Just because
I'm
it's
super
Montreal.
interested.
I know, right? I am not interested in going to Canada, but I'm sure there
Super
probably people.
interested, but I have a conflict, so I won't be there.
Dr. Circa, you want to go?
I'm interested. I'll have to look at, make sure the calendar fits, but certainly I will. Let's pencil that in for me as a possibility. I mean, we don't have to make it specific to me.
Right.
Just approve. Do the same thing. Approve a couple of board members and other staff if we need to do that.
Yeah, and others can chime in, but for staff, like this is a pretty nerdy, nitty-gritty genetics stuff, not so much genetic counselor specific. So I don't know how helpful it would be.
It's a lot of lab related content, genetic testing and laboratories.
Research and yeah.
Yeah, that might be one that maybe staff can sit that one out.
Yeah. Do we want to just do 2 board members just in case? So I want to do that.
So I'll go ahead and move for 2 board members to go.
And a second.
This is Sarah. I second.
Everyone in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any nays? Okay. And then the last one is the National Society of Genetic Counselors meeting in November, which is also in Maryland, Baltimore. Open discussion on that one.
I'll be there for that one, but regardless of whether or not the board sends me.
I would like to be there for that one.
Okay. If I did that one, it would be more virtual.
Yeah, I may opt for the virtual option too, just depending on how fall shapes up otherwise, but definitely to join in the content one way or the other.
Can we move to send more than 2 board members, or is there a limit? I mean, since we're not sending people to a lot of other things.
There isn't technically a limit. However, normally we ask to not send what would be considered a quorum or higher, just because we don't want people to think that perhaps you're having a meeting there. Having said that, we have certainly had conferences where more than a quorum of board members has been present. And normally what I tell you is just if that's the situation, because people have funding from other sources, don't discuss any board business while you're there. Just none. You can talk about anything else you want in the world, but just don't talk about any board business. That way it's not a meeting. So, you could potentially approve more than 2. Just go with that caveat of don't discuss board business while you're there.
Do we know how many staff people might be interested in that one?
There possibly could be 2, myself and my program director.
Pam, I might be interested in attending that one as well. I will want to see the agenda though before I would make a call one way or the other to make sure that it's, worth the time and the money for what I do for this board.
Well, even if we did just like officially approve 2 board members, Sarah, you would still be able, to go, correct?
That's my understanding is I'll still be able to go. I changed jobs. So.
Do you have
otherwise
funding?
well?
Yeah. So do we want to approve just 2 board members and 3 staff?
Yep. This is Sarah. I motion to approve 2 board members and 3 staff to attend NSGC in November.
I got a second.
Second, Kim.
All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any nays? Okay. Any other discussion about meetings or things we didn't do correctly, Brandy, or anything else?
Allison, if I could just pipe in,
Please.
because I'll need to get with those that are planning to ahead of time to talk about what travel with the state. For example, if you fly, it can't be first class. And there's a per diem for meals. So I've got the names written down, so I will reach out to folks way in advance of these meetings. And it's possible that we could go ahead and pay for some of these registrations up front on the board side. So if you're planning on going to any of these, if you could just hang on tight, I'll be back in touch with you shortly so that we can talk about the specifics and how this travel flows. Now, those that are in state government, that you guys kind of have a feel for how it works. But I just don't want people making flight arrangements and booking hotels until I've actually spoken with you.
Got it. Anybody else have anything about that topic? Brandy, are we good to move on?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
Okay. So the next item is just future meeting topics. There's nothing currently on the agenda for that. Is there any discussion about that?
Did we?
Allison, we do
Yes.
need to discuss and vote on chair and vice chair.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that C. You're right. So back up under new business on C, there is a discussion and vote on this year's chair and vice chair. I'm sorry, Pam. Thanks for pointing that out. Do we have the same board members for 2026? Does that change at all?
Let me check.
I think 2 of us
Yep.
could roll off in August
Yep. I'm one of them.
and the other.
And so I
Okay.
guess we need to figure out what the plan and the procedures are.
Yeah, how do we can you just remind us how board members are replaced? Does the governor appoint those? When does that happen? Is that kind of what you're talking about, Amy? Yeah.
Yeah, if you're interested in reappointment, I think Dr. Sakura, didn't they just kind of reappoint you just recently? Did the governor's office reach out to you, or did you have to reach out to the governor's office?
No, they reached out to me. I think I think through the board, I think Sean, you sent me stuff and I was able to fill things out, and they reached out to me, and I mean, it was very simple. You have to go through whatever the questionnaire they have is again. And so, yes, I got my reappointment late last year. So y'all are stuck with me for a while.
Yes. Well, and if anybody is planning on applying for reappointment, you do continue to serve until your successor is actually appointed and qualified. So unless the governor's office decided to go with somebody else, nominating somebody else, and going through that process with them, it should still be seamless, essentially.
If people are interested in being on the board, how is that made known to the people who do the appointing?
Well, you can have them reach out to me, Allison, because we have a legislative liaison here, and I would give those names to that person to let them know that we've got someone interested in serving on the board, and they would be put in touch with the governor's office.
And with 2 people rolling off, assuming they don't want to get reappointed, which we don't know yet, when should they start notifying you that they're interested? Like, what's the timing of all this?
Now.
Okay. Yeah. I just didn't know if there's some kind of, is it okay to like do any type of email to just like our society that, hey, if you're interested in being a board member, reach out to Pam? Like, is that inappropriate?
No.
Okay.
No, that's what my other boards do. When they hear someone interested, they reach out to me. They just have that individual email me, and then I take it from there and coordinate it with that individual. But technically, I mean, somebody could express interest to be on the board at any time.
Okay.
I had asked Pam a little bit about this previously because while I was at the State House for some of our meetings, I saw that people were there and they had been board members for like 10 years, 15 years. And so I was kind of asking how that all worked, because I think we sort of assumed, at least I did, that, our appointment was just for that short period of time. And we've never really talked about this as a group. I guess I'd sort of assume we get booted off. So we've never really talked about what the plan would be, and maybe people's interests are different and whatnot. But I was surprised to see that so many people were long-standing board members, and I wondered how that could possibly be.
I will say, Amy, that there was a time where new appointments and reappointments were not being made in a timely fashion, so that could be part of the reason. But that process is now being done more timely.
There
And-
are
and if-
also some boards where there's not a large number of people who are interested in serving. And so sometimes you will see people serve for longer periods of time. So there are lots of reasons that can go into why a board member might be on a board for a long period of time. Some boards have limits, term limits, so they can like only be on the board twice. Some of them have no term limits. The terms are for different years depending on the board. So lots of different things can play into it.
And our legislation doesn't have anything about term limits.
It does not. Just you have 3-year terms and you continue to serve until your replacement is appointed and qualifies.
Okay. For Sarah and Amy, do you guys know yet if it's something that you definitely want to roll off or would be interested in a reappointment? Just curious.
I'd like to stay, but I understand if like we want people to roll off for any reason. I will say we do have a lack of volunteering for things among the genetic counselors.
Yeah, you probably just noticed that with the society. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like also, but again, if we decided that that's not what we want people to do, then that would be okay. I agree with Sarah, and also looking for people to fill these roles for hearing officer and report. Like we've kind of gotten people into those roles that was sometimes hard to do. So I don't know how the field stands in South Carolina at this point, but I would be interested in.
Good to know. Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're just still figuring this out, and then we're going to be gone, and then someone else has to figure it out. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say that just being a new board, I mean, I would lean in the favor of, keeping this gang together if we can, if people are still interested in serving. Certainly, if people want to roll off, I think that'd be a reason. But
Sure.
I'd be in support of just staying as is unless people are rolling off, and then we can seek new members.
Question for Pam or Brandy. When we are voting on the chair and vice chair, there's nothing that says we can't have the same ones, correct?
Correct.
Sarah, do you have any request to not continue to be the vice chair?
No, I'm very happy to stay on as vice chair.
Okay. And I am fine continuing to be chair unless someone doesn't like that or wants to be chair. Let me know. So if we want to keep it the same, I guess someone could just make a motion to keep me as chair and Sarah as vice chair.
So should we?
Yes.
Really?
Do we need to do them separately, Brandy?
You don't have to do them separately. So somebody could do a motion with them together. And if that motion does not pass for some reason, then we could split them up to make it easier to figure out which person that they didn't want.
Okay. I make a motion that we continue Allison as chair and Sarah as vice chair.
This is Akil, second.
All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any nays? Great. Thanks. Okay. So am I correct now to move on to number 8?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So future meeting topics, there's nothing on the current agenda, but I don't know if there's any discussion that we should talk about in our April meeting.
Yeah, this is just kind of an open topic that we like to keep
Yeah.
on here in case there is anything kind of floating around in industry that you all think that we need to put on the agenda for the future.
One thing, Pam and Brandy, I'm interested in knowing if this is relevant, but there is federal legislation to approve Medicare coverage for genetic counseling services. So for CMS to basically recognize genetic counselors as providers. I don't know if there's anything that the board could do to advocate for that, but it is something that we would advocate and support on the federal level.
I will have to take a look at y'all's statutes again to see if advocating for something like that is something that is within the power of the board to do or not. But I can look into that. And if it is, I can look into what's going on with that legislation so that we can discuss it in more detail at the next meeting.
Perfect. And I know we have the next meeting down at the bottom is April 21st. Do we have the rest of the meetings for the whole 2026 calendar year already somewhere?
Yes, ma'am, we do. One moment. I can pull those up for you. Alrighty. So after April, the next board meeting would be July 21st. And then the last meeting of the year is scheduled for October 27th.
Okay, thank you.
And I believe, I'm sorry, Allison, these were approved at the last board meeting.
Okay. I didn't see the list of them on the minutes, but that's probably I didn't see them or they weren't on there, but either way, thank you for telling me that. Is there any other discussion about future board topics, or even from Pam or people, like things that you think as a board we should be talking about that we're not?
Well, anytime, anytime you guys think of something that you feel needs to be addressed at the upcoming board meeting or any board meeting, please let me know. We generally try to have the agenda ready at least 3 weeks prior to the board meeting. So up until then, anything can be added. So anytime you feel like that there's something that we need to add, please reach out to me and let me know. And we can add it to that meeting's agenda.
Is it already part of the plan? I know like sometimes we get legislative updates from our legislative people. And I'm guessing there's not any updates that would be on the agenda because you do check on that kind of stuff too, Pam, for us.
Yes. And we can put that for the next meeting. They're just now getting started with the meetings downtown. So those individuals are kind of tied up in meetings. But like one thing that the board does have on the floor is, updating the fees. If the board remembered, there was a board meeting last year that the agency's director, Ms. Farr, came and spoke with the board, and I believe you guys voted to reduce the licensure fee, and then you also voted on the reinstatement and the renewal fee. I'm sorry, I don't have my notes in front of me, but that is something that's on the table now downtown for the board. So yeah, we can actually add that to the next meeting and give the board an update on that.
Okay. Just make sure there's anything else from this board for that topic. Okay.
And we'll have some things like, for example, reinstatement. We'll have to develop a reinstatement application for the board. So that's something that we'll do on this end, just like we did with the initial and the limited license. We'll design something and bring it to the board, for you guys to look at it and for your review approval. So we do have some things coming up later on in the year for the board's review.
Okay. And with the renewals that are needed, is there messaging from LLR that like, hey, you need to renew your license, just kind of like how the certification notifications came out?
Yes, ma'am. The board will actually send out, or LOR will actually send out an email about 6 months prior to the to when licenses are supposed to expire, so that individuals can verify their email addresses on file with the board, because that's how we do all of our corresponding. So they'll verify that we have a current and correct email address on file with them. And then about 3 months later, that's when the renewal notice will be emailed to the individual. So everybody's saying, hey, it's time to renew your license. And since this will be the board's licensee's first time renewals, we could even send an e-blast if the board wanted to. I don't know, 6 months, whatever the board seems doable. Just reminding folks that, hey, renewals coming out here, be on the lookout for this email, for that email. So if the board wanted to do like, I guess like an education piece, we could do that and do it in an e-blast form. And we can also update the website. We'll also update the website for a renewal section as well. So that way they can click on that, renew my license button, and it will tell them everything they need to know about renewals.
Okay. So on the agenda, item 9. Are there any public comments? I don't think we have any public, but I'll give just a minute.
Real quick, going back to what we were just talking about, would it be reasonable to put something from the South Carolina Genetic Counseling Society, like in one of their reminders or at one of the meetings, just to put a notification to remind genetic counselors, like to update their contact information or their email or address with LLR? Because if somebody has changed jobs or something like that, they may not be getting their emails. But would it be okay to do that, I guess, from a standpoint to sort of advertise for LLR in that way?
I don't see anything wrong with that, Amy. Brandy, do you?
No, I don't see any problems with that.
And would this be the association that Allison, you're part of? I was going to say, if there's a contact person.
Sarah's
you know,
actually on the board of that. I'm just on the planning committee for the conference, but she's on the board of that society.
When you email SEGCS, you get me. So I am the contact.
I was just thinking of ways to get the word out outside of, LLR directly contacting the genetic counselors.
No, I think that's fabulous. We do that with some of the other boards. We coordinate with the association.
I'm trying to remember when mine, is it like April? Like when mine is going to be due? Because that's like already less than 6 months from now. So
I think we're all sort of the same. It says, doesn't it say May for everybody?
Maybe it was like by May 1st. You had to be, I feel like by May 1st, you had to have a license.
Yeah, that was for this year. Yeah, we kind of had to do a cutoff. And so we did the cutoff, but everybody, I believe, has an expiration date of April next year.
April 2027.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. But I think you can expect that some of the people will verify immediately, just like with licensure, like you'll get that initial spurt, and then a lot of people file in the middle, and then at the very end, you'll have the stragglers putting everything together, even though it's all expiring at the same time.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And we'll send out reminders. And that last month of renewal, in the month of April, we'll send out reminders to people that haven't renewed on a weekly basis. So, yeah, even more important, like you said, Amy, that they keep their address and their email address updated with the board. So great idea for putting, getting with the association on that.
Sarah, do you have a board meeting for the society soon upcoming?
We should. They look like they've fallen off the calendar, but it should be next Friday.
Okay. Are you okay bringing that up? Okay. Awesome. All right. So unless there's any other comments or discussion, then we can, take a motion to adjourn.
So Sarah, I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second?
This is Amy. I second.
And all in favor say aye.
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 And then anyone, I think that's all ayes, so I think we're good.
All righty. Good to see everybody. Thanks for being accommodating to the virtual meeting.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Take
Thanks,
care.
everyone. Take care.
Bye all.
Sean, I really appreciate that you check everyone individually to see if their speaker works. Today it was me, but a lot of times
Oh,
I just appreciate that. That's
you're
that's
welcome. No
conscientious
problems
of
at
it.
all.
All right. Have a good one.
Okay. Bye.
Bye,
Have a good
Robin. Thank
one.
you.
Bye, Pam. Thank
Thank
you.
you.